Imagine being trapped in a space so tight you can't move a muscle. Your body is wedged in place, completely immobilized. There's nothing but darkness in front of you. Pitch black. The cold stone walls press against your skin, and every passing second feels like an eternity. This actually happened. During what was supposed to be a simple school field trip, one student took on an unusual challenge. What no one expected was that she would soon become the focus of one of the most intense cave rescue operations ever carried out. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Abyssin. Today, I've got one of the most nerve-wracking cave exploration stories I've ever shared on this channel. And of course, if you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to leave a like. It helps me out a lot. On the morning of March 8th, 2018, the atmosphere was buzzing with excitement. 8 students from the geology club at Robert E. Lee High School met in the school parking lot, their backpacks stuffed with helmets, flashlights, water bottles, and the kind of restless energy that comes with the promise of adventure. Their destination was Robber Baron Cave, a spot in San Antonio known for its underground mysteries and geological significance. Among the students, one 18-year-old stood out. As the oldest in the group, she seemed determined to take the lead. The cave system beneath the city had long been a local legend, a winding maze carved through limestone over the course of thousands of years. Their geology teacher, who had been hyping up the trip for weeks, described the cave as a complex network that had fascinated seasoned spelunkers for decades. The group arrived at the cave entrance late that morning. Robber Baron Cave was no ordinary hole in the ground. It was a geological wonder, meticulously mapped out over the years by local caving experts. With a total length of about 2,700 feet, its tight passages pushed even the most experienced explorers to their limits. The cave featured multiple layers, narrow corridors, and small chambers that demanded intense focus to navigate safely. Before they went in, the teacher gave a quick briefing on the cave's formation and background. The limestone structures told a story millions of years in the making, where stalactites and stalagmites had sculpted otherworldly shapes hidden in the dark. As the students ventured deeper, the challenges only increased. In many sections, they had to crawl on hands and knees through the gaps that barely seemed passable. The young woman embraced the physical challenge. Every tight squeeze she managed to conquer felt like a personal victory. Her enthusiasm didn't go unnoticed by the others, nor did her obvious desire to stand out. This set off a kind of unspoken competition within the group. Coming from different classes, the students began teasing her, making offhand comments that tested her bravery. They knew she wouldn't back down from a dare. Eventually, they came upon a narrow crevice that looked ordinary at first glance, just another tight spot in a cave full of them. It was a slender opening in the limestone floor, easy to miss if you didn't know where to look. Its edges were smooth, worn down over millennia by water and pressure. There were no signs of the danger that lay within. None of them realized that the passage narrowed drastically the farther in it went until it became nearly impassable. Amid the teasing, someone said something like, "Bet you can't fit through that tight space?" She paused for a moment, but her drive to prove herself took over. With a steady gaze, she fired back that she couldn't wait to see their faces when she made it to the other side. Without hesitation, she crouched down at the opening and started working her body into the ever-tightening gap. At first, everything seemed fine. She could feel the cold stone against her skin and the helmet scraping along the tunnel walls. But then, things changed. Halfway through, she realized she couldn't move any further. This wasn't just a tight spot. She was completely stuck. The cave walls were pressing against her on all sides like a stone vise that wouldn't give an inch. What started as confidence quickly turned into panic. There was no room to shift, no visible way forward. The passage kept getting tighter, leaving no chance of progressing. The rock, unforgiving and unmovable, began to press into her hips. Her bones were hitting against the jagged stone, sending waves of sharp, overwhelming pain. Tiny, razor-like edges of limestone scraped at her skin, causing what felt like hundreds of tiny cuts. Her classmates tried everything they could think of. They pulled on her legs, pushed from behind, tried to widen the space. But nothing worked. The cave structure was too solid to risk aggressive movement without causing a collapse. The teacher was called over. One look, and he knew this was beyond his ability. They needed professional rescue. The scene was disturbing. Her right leg was twisted at an unnatural angle, the knee bent in a way the human body simply wasn't built to handle. Her screams echoed through the cave, raising the tension even more. Time seemed to stretch on. The initial adrenaline faded, replaced by exhaustion and rising dread. Cramping set in. The forced position made the pain spread across her entire body. The cave, which had once promised adventure, now threatened to become a tomb. After 2 hours of trying, hope was starting to fade. She was still trapped, barely able to hold on. That's when the San Antonio Fire Department's technical rescue team arrived. They approached the situation like a delicate surgery. While they'd done cave rescues before, each one came with unique challenges. Robber Baron Cave, in particular, was known for its tight squeezes, unstable formations, and unpredictable rock shifts. They brought in specialized gear, portable cutting tools that could trim rock with minimal disturbance, inflatable rescue bladders to create just enough extra space, and communication systems to keep constant contact with the trapped student and the rescuers at various points. For the young woman, there was still hope, but the ordeal was far from over. Breathing had become difficult. Every breath took deliberate effort. Her chest was so tightly pressed that her lungs could barely expand. She felt her ribs slowly being crushed. The rescuers knew that time was critical. They worked for hours with extreme precision. Every move had to be calculated. The team monitored her vitals and kept her talking to help calm her nerves. Each inch gained felt like a triumph over nature itself. They used cameras and sensors to pinpoint exactly where she was stuck, making sure not to cause further harm. Occasionally, small chunks of stone would break away, allowing just enough room to keep going. The team functioned like a perfectly tuned machine. Each person knew their role and carried it out with care. They kept digging, slowly opening the path. After over 9 hours of relentless effort, they finally made enough progress. She could move again. The cave's crushing grip was beginning to loosen. 3 team members formed a human chain. One of them carefully grabbed her feet. With a deep breath, they coordinated a final collective pull. The tension in the air was suffocating until it wasn't. Cheers and applause rang through the tunnels. After 11 excruciating hours, she was free. Her body was battered and completely spent, but against all odds, she was out. As she stepped into the daylight, the relief on her face was unmistakable. Shaken, exhausted, but alive, medics treated her on-site before taking her to the hospital. Miraculously, she only suffered minor injuries. A few hours later, she was released to recover at home. The cave remained unchanged, silent, mysterious, indifferent, a timeless reminder of both human fragility and resilience. For that group of students, the experience would never be forgotten. It was a stark lesson that adventure can become disaster in an instant, and that courage, combined with skill, can mean the difference between life and death. If you thought this story was intense, just wait until you see the one on your screen right now. What started as a simple adventure took a far darker turn. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. It really helps me out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.